A question we're getting a lot right now with reference to not only student athletes, but just the admission cycle in general is um, the impact on standardized tests of everything that's going on. Um, with standardized tests being canceled, delayed, how will admissions be affected not only this admission cycle, but also for a couple of years in the future at some of these schools? So one thing to note is a key resource that I would put you in touch with is Compass Test Prep. They're running an updated blog post where they have a lot of different things about dates that are canceled, dates that are rescheduled, what might happen with the SAT, ACT, how to still prepare for them, etc. They did a webinar a couple weeks ago now that was really good, really informative, with some admissions folks, some college admissions folks around the country, where they answered a lot of hot button questions. So I would direct you there. We'll put the link in this blog post in the post version of this as well. In that vein, a lot of high academic schools are going test optional in the current climate. There were certainly a handful that already had already gone test optional or were thinking about going test optional. This has really been kind of a catalyst to push a lot more schools to go to a test optional admissions for the 2021 class, but also for some of them, they've said, we're going to beta test optional or test flexible admissions through 2023 in some cases. So the best place to look if the schools you are targeting have gone test optional or if their standardized testing policy has been affected is to look at their admission sites, because they will have those updates in those places. So with a lot more going test optional, what does this impact mean for student athlete recruiting? And it's going to be different by the school. I think that one thing that I would still advise student athletes do is you should still be using some of the time where typically you would be in class or be in practice. Investing some of this extra time in standardized test prep can really be a great way to use some of this time that you can create in your day if you are disciplined and if you do create a structure, and if you are kind of getting all your stuff done and staying on your P's and Q's in the classroom. It is going to be a good investment. And we've covered a lot of this on our student athlete webinar as well. So take a look there for kind of more in-depth analysis of how to reinvest this time and what this might look like. For student athletes, one reason that I think it is still a great idea to be prepping for an SAT or ACT is that even though schools are going test optional to a more of a degree, or like more schools are going test optional, it's still the cleanest way that a coach has to very quickly see where you might fall academically in their recruiting. Transcripts tell a more complete story about who you are as a student and the work that you put in day by day, and your work on the field tells a different story, and your character ultimately is a really important piece of the puzzle. But all these things are much more difficult to get a very clean read on. A transcript coming from one school with the same GPA can mean something very different than the same GPA and different transcript coming from a different school based on what the course load is, what your high school's profile is, what are the advanced courses that your school offers. There's a lot of nuances to reading a transcript. The good news is that admissions offices are very, very good at reading these transcripts. And so they get a really clear picture of you as a student from these transcripts. For coaches, using your GPA and your course load is a great kind of next step. What can be really tough for coaches, though, is that they don't have the same insight into your school profile or what that course load means at your particular high school that the admissions department does. And so what they look at in a lot of cases is they get a good, clean, quick view of you academically from whatever standardized test scores you're able to submit, whether it's a PSAT they can do something with, an SAT or ACT they can do more with, SAT subject tests they can do a little bit more with. So it gives coaches really quick insight into if you might be recruitable to their program. There is no way that, one 5 or 6 hour test one weekend taken in a high school auditorium or gym or classroom is a statement on who you are as a person. And nobody's saying that. And people test at different rates, and preparation and investment in time can certainly help you achieve better scores. But it's a really quick, easy way for coaches to get a sense of you from a recruitability standpoint on the academic side, because it is, as the name would suggest, it is standardized across the country. A 1400 from California means the same in their eyes as a 1400 from Florida, as a 1400 from Texas. So they're able to really rank apples to apples where you might fall. It's not the only piece of the admissions or recruiting puzzle, but it can be a good first quick view from coaches. So for student athletes, I would advise that you still continue prepping for your standardized tests so that you can give them that insight when the time is appropriate. This doesn't mean that a 2023 should be taking an SAT right now just to get that score, but it does mean that once you come to a time when you are ready to take this SAT or ACT or take these standardized tests, it can be a great way for you to get your foot in the door at some schools who are interested. They say, hey, Max, I'm interested in you as a player. What do you got for me academically? You have something to give them that is pretty quick and clean and gives them a good sense of where you might fall academically. So that's my 2 cents. Again, I would go to Compass Test Prep for more in-depth analysis of what the whole picture looks like on the standardized testing front. They also do offer standardized test prep courses and everything like that, but they're really on top of the moving pieces and the different pieces of the puzzle that can matter from an admission standpoint, specifically with relation to standardized testing. So take a look there, and feel free to follow up with us about if there's anything specifically about the recruiting process in standardized testing that comes to mind.